Hello everybody and welcome back to Streamatrix. My name is Neil and you're back watching hopefully your future favorite football channel. Well, football is back and so are we. And so is my setup as well. I personally think that when international football is on, it's good to take a bit of a break, especially if you're a Manchester United fan. And also because Manchester United tend to give their fans a lot of headaches, heartbreaks, and a lot of little joyous moments, but it has been mostly headaches and heartbreaks. So it was good to get a little bit of a break under the belt before this strenuous season of football continues up until December. And I think I don't know what we are up against. Just to catch up on a little bit of what has been happening in this international break, there's been a lot of talk about Ten Hag being sacked and Tuchel being Tuchel replacing him. But in the last couple of days, it has been confirmed that Tuchel has actually taken up the England coach and manager job. So which means that Ten Hag's number one threat, which was rumored to be Tuchel, is now out of a managerial position from the club perspective, because he will be leading England up until the World Cup. I think 2026 and beyond, I think, is his contract. So that takes Ten Hag a little bit off the pressure. And also Dan Ashworth, Omar Barada, and the hierarchy at Ineos and the Manchester United. Oh, the music is a bit too loud. Apologies for that. Right, and the hierarchy at Manchester United, including Omar Barada, Dan Ashworth, have publicly and privately sort of backed Ten Hag and said that he was never close to being sacked in the first place, leave alone them considering any other candidate. They want to pursue with him, they want to give him a bit of a time, and they want to give him a good support structure so that they can ensure that they have given him every chance to turn the season around. And hopefully he does, because I have been very Ten Hag. I've been a good Ten Hag supporter, even when he went against Ronaldo, who's my favorite player in the world. And even when he mistreated him in a way, even when there were a lot of rough times, I think that his mentality had given us a fresh start at Manchester United, and it felt like a project was beginning. We came into the season a bit more positive, but our form has not really been up the standards that we would have liked it to be, especially after the transfer window that we have had. So yeah, I do think that Ten Hag has the support for now. Although we are living on the edge, and the upcoming match against Brentford is not going to be easy by any means. Let's head right into the game preview and prediction for Manchester United versus Brentford coming up next. All right. Okay, so Brentford versus Manchester United versus Brentford. So this is we're just going to go over how the both teams have fared. What is Manchester United's form been like, and how can we create an environment where we can end up winning this game if it's possible. But if you let's look at our form over the past 5 games. And as you can see, with Crystal Palace, we drew against Palace. We should have ideally won that game, but we drew nonetheless. Then we drew against FC20. We should have won that game, but we drew nonetheless. The Spurs one is a disappointing one. I have the reaction on my channel, and I didn't mince my words when it came to the reaction against Spurs. With Porto again, I don't know how you can blow up a 2-0 lead and then end up drawing that game. So that was again a bit of a Harry Maguire magic in the last minute, but then again, not a very impressive performance. Again, you're down to 10 men, so you can understand why, but then again, I have no idea. And then Villa, I just felt like they just wanted to get done with the game. There wasn't much enthusiasm amongst the players. We didn't even see much reaction from the Villa players as well. Yes, granted that they had a midweek game. Both these teams had a midweek game, but still there should have been a bit of more zeal that we could have seen as fans for this game. This game was very boring. I call it a snooze fest. If you really did not watch this game, you did not really miss much of anything in the match. There weren't really crazy opportunities that we missed or crazy gameplay all across the field. So there was nothing as such, anyways. All right, so now I need to keep my energy up, so I need to keep sipping on my energy drink. But anyways, let's look at where we're in the table and where Brentford, before heading on to the match against Brentford, let's look at where both these teams are in the Premier League table. And as you can see right now, Brentford is above Manchester United and they are 2 points ahead, having played the same number of games, and their goal difference is better than us. We have somehow have a -3 goal difference, and they have a 0 goal difference. So yeah, so yes, it's not looking good for Manchester United, I don't think, to be honest, because if you look at Brentford's form, they won 2 games out of 5. If you look at Manchester United's form, they've won only 1 game out of 5. So it's not like both these teams are crushing it in the Premier League. Again, Brentford in the 11th position, they are where they need to be on at the beginning of this table of the season. But Manchester United are not where they should be. They should have ideally been in the number 12, having 12 points or something, so that they can be in the 6th or the 7th position at the least, at the worst. So yeah, I think mixing it up with Bournemouth, West Ham, Brentford, Leicester, Everton is not something that is a good look on the management, the players, as a team. There has to be more fight, more want to win than anything else. And we do have the players, but we just need to show it on the field. Now, so our next match is coming up with Brentford. Then on October 24th, 5th for me, 24th for a lot of people, we have our Europa League game against Fenerbahce, which is going to be against Jose Mourinho and Fred, and it's going to be I think it's going to be a classic game. Mourinho will have something to say. I'm sure he's not someone to hold back. Post that, we have West Ham within 2 days time after Fenerbahce. That's West Ham away, and then again with a 3 days gap, we have against Leicester, and then again another 3 days gap, and we have Chelsea. So the next 5 games are basically back to back, and from October 20, what's tomorrow's date? October 19th to November 3rd, we are playing 5 games, and that has to be something that we are focused on, because it's very easy for fatigue to kick in. It's very easy for the players to use this as an excuse. So I do think that we need to have our A game on, and hopefully we're able to create an environment where we are able to win as well a few of these games. Out of all these 5 games, if we win 4 out of 5, that's excellent. If we win 3, draw 2, that's okay. If we draw 2, lose 3, that's going to be real bad, because I think if we end up not getting wins out of these games, I think no matter how much Ten Hag is back, we will be in maybe the 15th, 16th or 17th position, and I don't think the board will have anywhere else to go than to sack the manager, which I don't want to happen. At least in this season, I don't want that to happen. So yeah, hopefully at the end of these 5 games, we see Manchester United somewhere around in the top 4 to 8, and the difference between the top 5 and Manchester United, Villa is in the 5th position, and the difference between Villa and United are 6 points already. We are already quite a bit of a point behind. Hopefully we can pick that up, but if not, we can see where else that leads to. But anyways, coming to the next match, which is Manchester United versus Brentford, let's look at the preview. Let's look at how this team, both the teams might be. And first and foremost, the Manchester United injury list is insane. I think Opta analyst, or I don't want to misquote them the name, but some outlet had come up with saying that Manchester United are facing the most amount of injuries again this season, and that is crazy, absolutely crazy, as to how our players are breaking down so very often than compared to the other teams. But when we look at the preview for Manchester United versus Brentford, and if you just look at the injury list, all right. So let's start with that first. Garnacho injured, he's doubtful, knee injury. I think he might be on the bench. Amad Diallo has an illness. I do think that he might play tomorrow, and he might start. Harry Maguire, I don't think is going to play feature tomorrow. I don't think. Menu won't feature tomorrow. I don't think. He might be, as far as I was reading the news, He might be there for the next games, but maybe not tomorrow. Euro is definitely not going to be there tomorrow. Luke Shaw again not going to be there tomorrow. Ugarte picked up an injury while he was on the international break in his match, and he has ended up with a muscle injury, so it makes him, it automatically removes him from the next game. And then we have Mount again doubtful on his injury, and Mazraoui picked up a knock on the last game, and then I don't think will have the heart problems that he has picked up. I don't think it's going to get sorted up any time sooner. So hence now with Mazraoui gone, we are only left with Dalot as the only fullback that we have, and that poses big trouble when you have Mbuemo on the other hand, when you will have Wissa on the other hand. So I do think that it's going to be a tough night out for us. We'll be at our home, so that we will have our Old Trafford voice as our 12th man. But even then, I don't think these injuries are way too many. Like if you look at the positions, we have two centre backs injured, we have 3 full backs injured, we have 2 midfielders injured, and we have 2 wingers injured in this, out of which 3 might end up playing, but that's it. And if you look at, on the other hand, Brentford, I don't think apart from Wissa, alright, so Wissa is injured. I wasn't aware of that. Alright, so for Brentford, Wissa and Rico Henry are the 2 main players who again are going to be out. The remaining people, Nogard is doubtful. I think he might be on the bench maybe. Aaron Hickey might also feature in the bench if that's okay, if that works for him, and the remaining are out again till November and December. So yeah, I don't think Brentford starting lineup might not be that much affected. Yes, they're going to miss Wissa and Rico, but I don't think it's going to be as bad as Manchester United, because mind you, we have only 1 fit fullback for the next game, and that is absolutely insane to think. But then that's life, I guess, as a Manchester United fan. But anyways, let's look at how our head-to-head has featured overall in the last few times. So October 7th to 2023, I think this was the match where Scott McTominay, who is mixing it up at Napoli with Lukaku and all, was the hero when he came out of the sub and won us the game. Again, we drew in the last encounter with Brentford. The other one was 1-0. Then we lost to Brentford 4-0. This was the opening weekends of Erik ten Hag's era that Manchester United had. So yeah, that was a game I don't think that Erik ten Hag is going to ever forget. So yeah, we do have a mixed bag of results. If you look at the overall, we've had 4 wins, 2 draws, and Brentford has had 1 win, which was the infamous 4-0 win. Now I want to quickly take a look at Brentford's form. Right, so they lost 2-1 to City. They won 3-1 against Leyton Orient. I think this is going to be in the Conference League, if I'm not wrong. But yeah, they won 3-1 there. They lost 3-1 against Spurs. They drew against West Ham 1-1, and they won against Wolves 5-3. And again, Wolves have been a bit more disappointing this season. There's a poll on my community tab. Feel free to chime in your viewpoints as well about which team has been the most surprising, and also another one poll is up there as well, so you can just check that out and give your views when you watch this video. But yeah, I think Brentford has a good goal scoring threat, and overall I think Brentford has a record, I think, in this Premier League of scoring within 2 minutes in every game or something like that. I think that's the record. I'm not entirely sure, might be wrong. If I'm wrong, you can correct me in the chat and in the comments. So yeah, so Brentford again, I think that will be up and raring to go. United usually tend to have a slow start, so if we switch off at the back, especially since we don't have a fullback present, it's going to be real challenge for our team to sort of recover, because once we go a goal down, we have seen this story of multiple amounts of time. Once we go a goal down, our heads drop and then we are not able to come back. So yeah, hopefully that's not the case this time, and hopefully we will be able to hold our ground in the first couple of minutes when Brentford are at their most dangerous. So let's look at Manchester versus Brentford. All right, so now overall, if I have to do the score prediction, I'm going to do that. But before that, I just wanted to discuss the lineup that Manchester United might field in this game versus Brentford. So let's get the lineup ready, and then I can discuss that. Lineup ready. Okay. All right. Let's get my striker back in frame. Yes, perfect. All right. So this is the lineup builder, and I'm going to build the lineup live. This is if you're watching it for the first time, it's there for all the match previews that I've done. Is that I select the players in every position and then basically discuss as to who should play there and why. Basically, my reasoning for it. So, firstly, the goalkeeper. The goalkeeper again picks himself. Onana, there's not going to be any competition to him, I don't think. So yeah, Onana is there as our goalkeeper. Now for our defense, I think everything is going to become really interesting. Mazraoui is injured. Okay, what's with the Chikna's cricket routine, says the chat. No, that is not that's just the automatic white balance adjusting the color on my face for some reason. See that? I mean, that's just the camera. But yeah, that's why you are thinking that that's the effect. There's no effect, there's no filter on it. But yeah, hashtag no filter. Anyways, right, so Onana picks himself. Defense is going to be really interesting because we have only one fullback. Mazraoui, Luke Shaw and Malacia are all injured. So yeah, I don't know why we did not end up at least loaning a fullback this particular in this summer, but then again, can't help it. So yeah, with regards to our defense, I think our defense should line up this way. So first I'm going to discuss about what team I'm going to pick, and second I'm going to just give my few points on what Ten Hag might end up picking. So Dalot gets back to his right back position. We will have Dilit as our right sided centre back. Then we are going to have Evans as our left sided centre back, and Martinez as our left back. I think Martinez played as a left back in one other game, so I think Ten Hag might just be confident enough to use him. And Martinez does have pace, which Evans lacks, and so does Lindelof. All right, I forgot his name for a second. Yeah, so Martinez has pace, which both Lindelof and Evans lack. So I don't think the defense should end up like this. If this is the defense, I'm still not as shaken by it. Evans again won the man of the match against Villa. He can put in a steady performance at a central defense, but there were rumors out there that I was seeing that Evans might end up playing in the left back position or the right back position as a full back basically, and I don't know how that's going to work. If that is what Ten Hag goes with, that's a risky move. You might as well change the formation and play three centre backs and push Dalot up in the midfield as a holding midfielder. I think that might end up being a formation in which we are a bit more secure. But leaving Evans alone as a fullback is just going to be a disaster, I think. But anyways, that's the central that's the defenders that I'm going to pick for the upcoming match. In our midfield, both. Alright, so in our midfield, Menu is out, Ugarte is out, and Mount is out. So which means that our midfield will again pick themselves automatically, I think. So we will have Casemiro starting, of course, and I personally would bring in Eriksen for this game and keep Toby Collier on the bench. But I can see if Ten Hag starts Collier, and I'm not completely opposed to it. I think that's okay if he start Collier. I just think that it's going to be a much more physical game. Yes, Eriksen is also not that physical, but then again, Collier is just a kid. He's just 19 years of age, 20 years of age, and he's not very up to the pace also as of now. So I would rather keep him on the bench, and if Eriksen is having a bad performance, we can bring Collier on, is what I personally feel. Again, Bruno will again pick himself in the camp position because there is not going to be anybody else who's going to even challenge him for that spot right now, because both Mount and Menu are injured and we can do nothing about it. But I think that's Bruno's position. He has to get firing. Bruno is having a tough state of form. He's not having many assists. He's not having many goals. I don't think he's scored a single goal since the start of this season. So yeah, it's going to be demanding for Bruno. He had come out with an apology letter saying to the fans that he is sad for it and he wants to be able to contribute more. And I really hope that he does, because if he ends up in a position where he's just a passenger and not dictating the play, I think we lose a lot in the midfield, because Bruno has been the most creative man that we've had in our midfield for years and years and years, and we do need that Bruno back, and we need that Bruno back ASAP. So yeah, that's Bruno's position. Again, left winger is going to be Rashford, and the right wing I'm going to go with Ahmad. I don't think Garnacho is going to start with the knock he has. So yeah, Ahmad was just ill, so I do think that Ahmad and Rashford can do a good pairing, and Garnacho can come in as an impact sub later on. So that's where I feel that the balance can lie. Again, Rashford is fit. He was again posting videos about him working out. I hope that he can also find form like Bruno, because we need both of them to be firing and to be in their A game for us to be able to score more goals. But yeah, Rashford, Ahmad and Bruno. Again, does this a midfield three give me a bit more confidence that we're going to defeat Brentford 3-0 or 4-0? No, it doesn't. But it's at least stable enough than putting injured players or players out of position there. Like, imagine playing Eriksen out wide. It's just not going to work. I can see Ten Hag putting Bruno out wide. If Ahmad is really ill, I can see Ten Hag putting Bruno out wide, playing Eriksen as a 10, and then bringing in Collier in the midfield. But then we don't have any bench after that. Like, we will have only youngsters in the bench, which we're still going to have now. But yeah, I just hope that that doesn't come to be. And then we will have Højlund as our number 9. So yeah, this is the lineup I'm going to go with against Brentford. Let's look at the chat. If he's a passenger, we should let him go. Bruno is a passenger only in this season. Like, he's been the most creative player in the Premier League since the time he joined. I think the stat was that he created more chances than De Bruyne since he joined. So he does create a lot of chances. He's just a passenger in the season that we are having right now. And I do think that's with the lack of instability behind and up front. I think we're trying to change the style of play of our front three, and I think Bruno needs to adapt to it. But then again, he's also having a bad run of form. He's missing goals, he's missing shots. There was in the international break, there was a sitter that he missed right from in front of the goal. So I do think that he needs to get his confidence back, and if he does so, then Bruno will again at least have that 15 or 18 goal involvements in the season, which we really need for him to be. If Bruno has about 18 goal involvement in the remainder of the season in the Premier League, I think that'll be a good season for Bruno, and so that goes for Rashford. Højlund again needs to go firing. He needs to start scoring goals for him to get confidence back. Again, the striker position for United is like a graveyard shift. But again, if he needs to succeed, he needs to make utmost use of the graveyard shift, which he did somewhat to an extent last season, and I hope he is able to do that. And of course, Zirkzee will be on the bench, is the lineup that I'm going with. The chat says no, it was a joke with the reference to the song. So the chat says that the letting Bruno go was a reference to the song Passenger Let Her Go, and I completely missed that reference because of course I did not know that could relate to that at all. But good, I appreciate your thinking. I don't know what you're smoking right now, but I would want some of that. Actually, I don't want some of that because I'm letting it go. But anyways, that was again a bad joke. Before that comes in, I need to edit these things out before I put it before the live goes live on YouTube, I think, if that's correct. Yeah, but anyways, I'm going to do that. However, all right, so this is the lineup that I'm going to go with, where I think Ten Hag might make some changes. Again, the rumor was that Evans will play in the fullback position. If he does that, I don't know, does Lindelof play as a centre back, and how that works, I don't know. So yeah, he might play Evans as the fullback and play Lindelof as the centre back. He might choose to put Fernandes out wide because of if Ahmad is really ill, and put Eriksen as a number 10 and have Toby Collier in the midfield position. And of course, he can rotate between the striker of Zirkzee and Højlund. So that could have also be the lineup that Ten Hag picks. But then again, that's basically it. in terms of the predicted lineup that I have. I feel if this team is put up as is right now, I see us fighting to win. I do think that Evans has a fight in him, De Ligt has that, Dalot has that, Martinez has that, Casemiro has that, Bruno has that, and if Haaland can shine through as well, that's about like 7 players out of 11 who have that zeal and fight and the energy to go full 90 minutes, full throttle. So yeah, I do think that that's a possibility that we might end up winning. Any changes to this, and we are walking on thin ice. So if this is the team, I'm going to go with a 2-1 win to Manchester United. And if there are changes where we're bringing in more youngsters in the team, I think it might end up being a draw, a 1-1 draw or a 0-0 draw. So yeah, I don't see us losing this game. I really don't. So yeah, if we put up this team which has a bit of a character and a bit of a strength, we might end up winning this match 2-1 against Brentford. So yeah, that's basically what I am predicting for tomorrow's match. Oh, the chat has been letting it go. So Sudeep has been letting it go for 100 days. No wonder you're single, buddy. Don't let her go, dude. Don't. But anyways, that was it for the Manchester United versus Brentford preview, and hopefully there is something to cheer and there is something to be happy with in this upcoming weekend. I'm just seeing if there is any sort of new news that comes up that has come in the last couple of hours since I've gone, last couple of minutes actually, since I've gone live, and if there is anything to be on the lookout for. You need to check it in a better place, because clearly I did not think it through. I thought I'm just going to do the preview and then cut it off, and now I'm going a little bit off script and trying to see on Twitter if there is any activity happening with Manchester United, any news about Manchester United. All right, let's just quickly check and let's quickly check a few tweets. What do you call the tweets now? Like, what is it? Like, it's X. So what are you doing? Xing on X? That's I don't know. I'll just stick to calling it tweets. All right. So Ugarte has taken a recovery session, having returned from international duty with Uruguay, and Malacia participated in the first part of the group session. So Malacia is again close to returning. I don't think he's going to be on the bench even for the Brentford match. Maybe a couple of matches from now. Oh, Mazraoui looks back. He's back in training. A good picture up there as well. So yeah, Mazraoui is back in training. No, if Mazraoui is good, fit and fine to play, I don't think he's fit to play in 90 minutes in any which ways. So I would rather give him a rest at the beginning and bring him in the second half if we are losing the game. But if you're not, then might as well just give him the complete rest that he might need. But good to see Mazraoui back in training, which means that it won't be anything too serious. All right, so Ahmad and Garnacho have also trained. So like I said, I think Ahmad will start and Garnacho will be on the bench. So yeah, that might end up happening. And yeah, that's about it. So that's good. A few good news, which is Mazraoui is back from his health issue, which he had about his heart, and Malacia has participated in the first part of the group training session. And also Garnacho and Ahmad are back in training. So that's good. That's good news for us. But I think this is going to be the team for tomorrow. And I'm confident that if this is the team, we might just have a good chance against Brentford, you know. All right, what did the chat say? Nothing. The chat says nothing right now because it's stuck at noob. But anyways, that was it for Manchester United versus Brentford preview. And upcoming is our Premier League game week preview. I've done these short series on YouTube wherein I'm putting up the predictions versus the actual results, also with a fellow streamer and a good friend of mine, Enzo, and we are going back and forth. I'm not sure if he's going to come on live right now. In the last live he was there on our live show as well, but if he's not, we're going to do the recorded version of course of his predictions, and then we're going to do the this is going to be the game week 8 if I'm not wrong preview predictions. And I defeated him last time. I'm having a good streak of predictions. I'm guessing at least 6 or 7 out of 10 right. So hopefully this week also I get a few right, and then in the end up beating him. So yeah, coming up next is the Premier League game week preview. Let me get that up really quick. Okay, so this is going to be the Premier League weekend, and we have a couple of interesting matches upcoming. All right, so let's start with the first one, and let's see where it's at. Spurs versus West Ham. I can see West Ham coming after the international break, energized and ready to go. Spurs had a bit of injury related problems before the break. I'm not entirely up to the news in terms of what their injury status is right now. So yeah, but I'm still going to go with Spurs win for this one against West Ham, and they win by maybe 1, so the scoreline might be just 2-1 is what I feel. Fulham versus Aston Villa. This is going to be a good game. Fulham are going to give a lot of a fight. I'm going to go with a draw, and the scoreline will be 2-2, Fulham and Villa. Ipswich versus Everton. I'm going to go with Everton needs a win. Ipswich are up and raring. I'm going to go with a shock prediction of Ipswich win, and the scoreline, they're going to barely scrape it. So I'm going to go with 2-1 scoreline. Man United versus Brentford. I'm going with a Manchester United win, and the scoreline will be Man United versus Brentford. If that's the team that we're going with, I'm going to go with a 2-1 scoreline. I can also see this being a draw, but yeah, I'm going to go with the Manchester United win 2-1 against Brentford. In the chat also, you can put down your predictions in the comments as well, and we can compare as to which, because I'm going to read through all of them and pick up a few people who might have commented in the right way. So if you're watching right now, you can put in, you don't need to put in all the predictions as well. You can just put in a few of your favorite teams win, draw or loss predictions. Okay, so the chat says West Ham wins, they are not United. Yeah. Okay, so the first disagreement is in the chat. They're saying West Ham will win. I am saying Spurs will win. I didn't know, Sudeep, you're a West Ham fan along with Enzo. But yeah, Enzo will be happy to hear that you're supporting West Ham to win. And of course, their name has West Ham United. So they are United, right? No. Okay. All right. The next one is going to be Newcastle versus Brighton. This is going to be a Newcastle win, and it's going to be a scoreline of 3-2 is what I feel. Southampton versus Leicester. Leicester are having a decent run of form. Southampton needs a win, but I don't see how they are going to end up scoring too many goals. So I'm going to go with a Leicester win for this one, and 2-1 scoreline to Leicester. Bournemouth versus Arsenal. This is going to be an Arsenal win, and it's going to be a 3-2 scoreline. Yeah, that's what I'm going with. Wolves versus Manchester City. Alright, so the Wolves are going to put up a fight, but they are having a really bad season. So yeah, I do think that Man City are going to win this one, and they might win this one 4-1 maybe, or 4-2 is what I'm guessing. Liverpool versus Chelsea. Cracker of a game. Both teams are going to fight. Liverpool are going to come back on top, and Chelsea are going to crumble a bit. But I see them scoring maybe 1 goal, and Liverpool may be scoring 3 goals, so that's 3-1 to Liverpool. And Nottingham Forest versus Crystal Palace. Crystal Palace, I don't know how many they are able to score, so does the same goes for Nottingham Forest. So I'm going to go with I want to say a draw, but I'm not feeling a draw, so I'm going to go with a Nottingham Forest win for this one. Nottingham Forest has been a surprising team again in the community poll, that's there as well. Not Nottingham Forest and Chelsea on the community poll have taken the cake for this one up until now as to which team has surprised you the most. So yeah, Forest I think will win this one against Palace, maybe by 1 goal. It might be a 1-0 or a 2-1 game. That's my predictions for the upcoming game week. What does the chat say? West Ham wins. They are okay. The chat has gone quiet after that. But anyways, right. So that's been my predictions, and we're going to come back and see how many I got right or wrong, depending on how this game week ends up going. And I've got my stress ball out, and if you know why, it's because of the upcoming thing that I'm going to discuss, which is my fantasy Premier League, in which I am really not really working out in the way that I wanted to work out. But yeah, that's my team for fantasy, and this is the points that I gathered last time. Thankfully, Saka and Palmer saved me to an extent, but I ended up with a massively shocking 45 points, and I don't know why that ended up being like. Look at my team. Haaland disappointed me, Watkins disappointed me, Smith Rowe had just 1 point, Luis Diaz disappointed me. So yeah, I am like every person sort of like underperformed. So yeah, that I'm basically, this is going to come in handy for me when the players play in this game week, because I am somewhere, I don't even want to see my overall rank, because it's somewhere high up in the millions that I don't even want to discuss. But yeah, for the next game week, before I go to that, the chat says your favorite match is Ipswich versus Everton. Why is that your favorite match? Oh wow, so we've got a first contradiction. Is 2-0 to Everton. The chat feels, Sudeep feels in the chat that Ipswich are not going to score a single goal. So yeah, he's gone with a 2-0 for Everton. We are going to come back to this chat, Sudeep, and I'm going to publicly bring that out if you get it wrong. So yeah, Man City wipes the floor with Wolves. Man City wipes the floor with Wolves. Did you chat GPT that line? Because I've never heard you say any line even remotely close to that. But yeah, I do think you're right on that one. So 3-0. I've gone 4-1 or 4-2. So yeah, Wolves might get one with Cunha up front. That's why I've kept 1 goal for them. So yeah, this was my team for the last game week. For the next game week, I have made a couple of changes, considering that Mazraoui was out as well. So yeah, this is going to be my team for next week. I've shifted out Ahmad and Mazraoui. I've brought in Ola Aina and Buonanotte, if I'm pronouncing his name correctly. Watkins against Fulham, Haaland against Wolves should ideally be a good. Oh, I want to captain Haaland, not captain Palmer. Palmer is playing Liverpool. He was my captain in the last game week, right? So Haaland captain against Wolves. He will score at least a couple, I hope. Watkins against Fulham should get a couple, or at least one. Saka against Bournemouth should at least get a couple of assists. Luis Diaz against Chelsea should at least score or get an assist. Palmer against Liverpool at least scores 1 or gets an assist to Jackson. And Romero and Van der Ven against West Ham should be good. And Nick Pope against Brighton should also be a good start. So I am at least hoping to get 60 points, hopefully. That'll be a good game week for me, considering the game weeks that I've been having. But yeah, let me know how your team is doing or what your rank is. If anybody in the comment puts in their rank, I'm going to put in my rank as well. Yeah, that is going to be my team for the next game week that I have upcoming. Alright, so now let's switch back, and yes, alright, so the chat says, bro, stop with the ChatGPT obsession, I'll really hate you. I mean, the world, you are the only person in the world who will not have a ChatGPT obsession, right? Because when you look at the thing that Elon Musk has done, especially with the humanoid robots, I think AI is the future. But anyways, that was it for the preview. We have done the Manchester United versus Brentford preview. We have done the Premier League game week preview and predictions. We have done the lineup predictions for Manchester United. We have discussed our FPL teams, And if you are playing FPL, comment on your points for your game week or which rank you are, and I'm going to comment down. I'm going to reply to where I am as well. This live is going to be live on my playlist, live playlist, and I was initially clubbing it off with my EAFC career mode Manchester United, but I'm not doing that right now. And Manchester United career mode is going to be live next, but it's going to be a different live in a different stream, in another stream. So I'm going to see you right there. And until then, I hope it's going to be a good Manchester United weekend. As a Manchester United fan, I'm tired of seeing Manchester United lose and lose and lose. But I hope that we are able to get at least one win out of it. And if we get a win, I think that just shifts the momentum a bit and maybe helps us secure a few other points as well. That's about it. But I'm going to see you right next in the Manchester United career mode. It's going to be episode 3. I am bringing Manchester United back to the top, and we are raring to go. We've gotten a good start to our season, and hopefully we can continue that in the upcoming stream as well. So I'm going to see you right there just in a couple of minutes. If you're live here, if you're watching here, you can switch it over to there. Or I'm going to see you there and shortly, and we're going to resume it there. Yeah, we're back.